Hi, this is Nick Karn, and this is my AEP 855, Module 7, my hierarchical leadership style. So the first question asks about what is the human resource frame of leadership according to Bowman and Deal. And just to kind of sum up my answer here, the the human resource frame of leadership according to Bowman and Deal is a leadership model that states that the human needs and organizational needs need to be aligned and emphasize that people are the most vital resource. So it's kind of a people first leadership model and stating that we need to realize the importance of everyone that we work with, which leads me to my organizational structure if I was to lead a school. So as you see here, it's not necessarily a pyramid. Um, Obviously, the principal is the leader of the school, but this is an intertwined circle map here that puts the students in the center because in my philosophical view, they do come first, but they revolve, like it goes out saying in education that students are the reason why we get out of bed. They're the reason why we do what we do. And I mean, that's at least how I view it because even if you are a para or a teacher or a principal or a alumni, whatever it may be, the school and this wouldn't be a school without the students. And so if we don't have them, then we have no school. And obviously that would be tragic if we didn't have students because then we'd be out of a job too. But at the end of the day, every single one of these people or groups of people deal with students either on a face-to-face basis or their actions impact the students. So the kind of how I organize this, the groups are people that really see the students one-on-one and work with the students every single day are in the middle there. So you have your principal, parents, teachers, community, and paraprofessionals. So I put them there just in my leadership style because we, on a day-to-day basis, see the kids and talk to them and work with them, and we have a most direct relationship with them. And so I put them closer to the students, but as you can tell, every circle is intertwined. So I kind of like this setup because every single person or group in this chart works together. And everything that we do revolves around the students. But for example, how does maintenance personnel work with teachers? Well, if something breaks down, such as the Wi-Fi or the lights are out, anything like that, anything that goes wrong physically with the building, we rely on the maintenance personnel to do that. And if we don't have them, then we cannot teach or we cannot lead the school without them. Custodians and the community. First of all, hopefully our custodians are in the community and they obviously have an impact, but the community is better off with clean schools and schools that function properly and schools that look nice and schools that the students are proud to come to. So every single person or group, again, works together. And yes, the principal has the guiding views here and sets the vision and has to include everybody in this vision. So I kind of want to go through each group and how I would include them in my vision real briefly. But I'll just start from the top, the office staff there. The office staff is huge. And as a principal, I'll probably be working with them just as much as I do anybody else, but probably on a more frequent basis, I'd see them face to face. So anybody who works in my front office, whether that be assistant principals, athletic directors, but even our front desk secretary or our bookkeeper, they have vital jobs, and if without them, again, our school would really struggle. So we need to, as a principal, I would make them feel that way just because it's true. I really feel that if you're not here, then it really affects me and it affects the kids. And that's again who we're trying to serve here. Cooks, obviously, and I work in a low income district, so food is very vital. We serve kids breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if without our cooks working that late, then our kids would be tired, malnourished in a lot of ways. And without them, then their education would struggle, and we would not meet our goal, which is to be the best school in our community or in our state or anything like that. But really, is to help our kids, and nutrition is key for that. And really, especially in low income, when they're not getting that nutrition at home, we need to make sure that we're helping them. And again, talking to the cooks, going face to face with them. I don't know many principals that I know who actually go and talk to the cooks, except for maybe the one I work with now. But I haven't seen it a lot, at least in my experience. Again, custodians are huge. They make the school operate the way it should and keep our school looking nice, and let the kids see that and see how hard they work. But I usually give my custodians some sort of gift basket every now and then, or some kind of treat, just to let them know how much I appreciate them. So I think they like that, because sometimes they feel like they're not appreciated as much as they should be. Alumni at our school, this was really bad because a lot of our alumni, there's no system for them to come back and help. So we want to make sure that we're involving our alumni because they still feel passionate about the school. We should reach out to them, and some of them could even be teachers one day, or they could volunteer and lead field trips, or they can be guest speakers. They can do a lot of things. So alumni are obviously a part of the school, and they need to be treated that way, but it needs to be consistent. There need to be programs in place to reach out to them. And as a principal, I can do that, or as an athletic director, you can do that. But somebody needs to be reaching out to them and talking to them and letting them know that they're still important to us, even if they've been gone for 30 years. And then finally, on the outside circles, maintenance personnel. Again, if something breaks down, the whole school suffers. Our Wi-Fi went out the other day, and it really affected a lot of teachers, but the maintenance personnel was awesome. Came here and fixed it right away, so a lot of teachers could take a deep breath after that. And then the inside circle, again, these are the groups that see our kids face to face most, at least at the school. So you see paraprofessionals here at the school, teachers at the school, but then outside the school, they'll see obviously their parents and community. But we always feel like those two things need to be separate. My goal is to bring them together. I feel like parent involvement is key, and community involvement is key, and having our students do community service and reaching out to our community is important. But we'll start with the in-school people first, paraprofessionals. Obviously, they're important to our special education students, but just to teachers as well, to make sure that we're following IEPs, 504s, anything that we need, and to assist those students that need extra assistance one-on-one more often. So they serve a very vital part of our students and our culture here in the building. Teachers, obviously, again, if we look at that profession and what I do and what every principal I think has done, it's not the easiest job. It's not the most well-paying job, but it's also the most rewarding job when you work with students every single day and see them grow and see them learn something new. Is just the best feeling in the world, and to let them know that you care about them and they actually feel that's pretty cool. So teachers, without good teachers, we would not have good schools. So recruiting those teachers and keeping them here is key, and that's the biggest thing. Recruiting the right people who are going to work hard and care about our students and do things the right way, but will also stick around as long as we can keep them. And I think that's where my job as a principal would be, to make them feel that way, and that they are supported, that they're cared about. But they're also going to be held to high expectations, that they're going to meet our culture and our climate, because they also feel part of that. And without them, again, it would be very, 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 very difficult to even have operate a school. If one teacher quits, then it throws everything out of whack. So we need to make sure that our teachers stick around, they feel cherished, they feel a part of something, that they're given responsibility, but they're also held to those high expectations, because we want to hold those students to high expectations as well, so that they know that we're here to be the best, or at least the best that we can be. And then lastly here, the two groups that deal with students outside of school but could also interact with students during school as well are the parents and community. And I think the parents are the most important group here, because obviously they raise our students, and they need to feel a part of their students' lives. And the school, principal, parents, and students should all feel like they can talk, they can work together, and that they can do what's best for their kids. But the parents should feel like their kids are being held to a high standard, but they should also feel a part of that. They should, it goes down to sports, it goes down to PTA meetings, anything like that. But if we don't do those things, then parents feel that they're isolated from the school, and the school's a different entity. And so we need to make sure that we involve them in our vision and our culture of high expectations. And then finally, the community. Our students spend a lot of time in our and outside our school. I feel like the school is part of the community, obviously, but I'm talking for my kids. If they're out there playing basketball in parks, if they're working jobs in the community, anything like that. So letting our students know that the community is very important to us, because without our our community, we wouldn't have all the nice things that we have for our students to go out. But then again, our community needs to understand, our neighbors need to understand that without good students, then this community suffers. It makes our economy struggle. Increases the crime rate. All these things. We need to make sure we're keeping kids in school, if they're proud of their schools, and that they really feel part of their community. But we can also do more for our community as well by reaching out and doing those service activities and all those different things that we can do to really make the community know that, hey, these are our students, and they're here to help, and they're hardworking, and then hopefully they'll leave a good impression. And at every single day that our students interact with our community, they represent our school. And so we need to make sure that, again, when they leave here, they're still being held to high standards and high expectations. So that's my organizational structure. Everything revolves around students, and we all work together for their success. And as a principal, it's my job to give all these groups a shared vision of what we want our school to be, what we want our students to be, what are those high expectations that we keep talking about, and how are we going to hold our students to those high standards. But once we do that, everybody can kind of work together, and we all need to communicate, and everybody needs to be aware of what's going on, because really at the end of the day, the students are our customers, and we need to make sure that we're serving them the best way that we can. And that's about it. So hopefully this made some sense, and I appreciate this course. It was pretty interesting, and it really enlightened me on some things that I didn't know about. But it was awesome, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that everything goes well. Thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.